You know, when you look at those massive buildings all around us, think about the huge distribution centers, the sprawling office parks, even the big retail stores we all go to. What's the one thing they all share? Well, it's this silent, almost invisible protector that makes everything inside possible, and that's the commercial roof. Honestly, it's one of the most critical and probably least appreciated pieces of technology in the entire construction world. So today, we're going to dive deep into this unsung shield.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about why a commercial roof is a completely different beast than the one on your house. Then, we'll get into what happens when that shield fails, and trust me, it's not pretty. After that, we'll explore the modern arsenal of materials out there, break down that big decision between repairing, restoring, or replacing, and finally, we'll wrap up with the power of being proactive.
So to kick things off, you really have to understand this. Roofing a massive commercial building is absolutely nothing like roofing a house. The scale, the engineering, the materials, it's a whole different universe.
I mean, really think about that for a second. We're not talking about a simple pitched roof here. This is a surface that can cover the area of multiple football fields. It has to handle complex drainage, ventilation, and sometimes massive, heavy equipment sitting right on top of it. The solution? It has to be a highly engineered commercial roofing system.
See, the roof on your home is pretty straightforward, right? It's steep, so gravity does most of the work, shedding water right into the gutters. But a commercial roof, it's usually flat or has a very low slope. That means it needs complex internal drains to manage huge volumes of water. And you can forget about shingles. These roofs use these giant, seamless sheets of high-tech membranes to create one single, unbroken, impenetrable barrier.
Okay, but when a system this big and this complex has a problem, the consequences are, well, a lot more serious than just a little drip in your attic.
A failure here isn't just a leak, it's a potential business catastrophe. Water can destroy millions of dollars in inventory, shut down an entire production line, and create seriously unsafe conditions for employees. We're talking about way more than just the cost of a repair. A failing roof can actually put the building's whole structure at risk and send its property value plummeting. The stakes are just enormous.
So how in the world do you prevent those kinds of catastrophic failures? Well, you do it with an incredible arsenal of advanced engineered materials. Let's take a look at what the pros use to protect these massive investments.
First up is TPO. The easiest way to think about this is like a giant white reflective blanket for the entire building. It's rolled out in these huge sheets, and then the seams are literally heat welded together with a hot air gun, which melts them into one continuous seamless surface. And that white color is the real superstar here. It bounces sunlight away, acting as a cool roof that can seriously slash a building's cooling costs, especially in sunny climates.
Next, we've got EPDM, which is kind of the industry's bulletproof workhorse. It's basically a massive sheet of synthetic rubber, and this stuff is just built to last. It shrugs off hail, high winds, extreme UV exposure, you name it. When you absolutely need a roof that is just going to endure for decades, EPDM is very often the answer. It's not uncommon to see these roofs last 30 years or even longer.
And rounding out the big three here is PVC. So if TPO is the energy saver and EPDM is the durable workhorse, think of PVC as the specialist wearing body armor. It's incredibly tough against punctures, from things like drop tools or heavy foot traffic from maintenance crews. On top of that, it stands up really well to chemicals, grease, and even fire, which makes it perfect for buildings like restaurants or manufacturing plants. So when you look at it this way, it's pretty clear there's no single best material, right? It's always about picking the right tool for the job. If you're in a hot climate and your number one goal is saving on energy bills, you're probably going to go with TPO. If you need something that's going to last for decades through the harshest weather, that's EPDM's territory. And if you've got a roof with a lot of foot traffic or chemical exposure, PVC is going to be your best bet. But look, even the absolute best materials don't last forever. Roofs get old, they get damaged. And when that happens, building owners are faced with a huge and often very expensive decision. But here's the thing, a full-blown, costly replacement isn't always the only answer.
This is the question that keeps facility managers and property owners up at night. I mean, a full roof replacement can run into the hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of dollars. So what are the alternatives? What is the smartest play here to manage this incredibly critical asset?
So you really have three strategic paths you can take. First, you've got the immediate fix, repair. This means patching a puncture, sealing an open seam, whatever it takes to stop a leak right now. Then there's this really powerful middle ground, restoration.
This is where you apply a new liquid coating or membrane right over the existing roof. It's incredible, because it can add another 10 to 15 years of life for just a fraction of the cost of a full replacement. And finally, you have the last resort, replacement. That's the full tear-off for when the system is just too damaged or too old to be saved.
But what if you could put off that whole stressful, expensive decision for as long as humanly possible? The truly smart strategy isn't about reacting to problems when they pop up. It's about getting way out ahead of them.
And this, right here, is the absolute game changer. A maintenance plan is basically like getting regular health checkups for your roof. It means someone is up there on a schedule, clearing debris from drains, checking for any seams that might be wearing thin, and fixing tiny little punctures before they could ever dream of turning into a major leak. This proactive approach is, without a doubt, the single most effective thing you can do to get the maximum possible life out of your roof and prevent those catastrophic, business-halting failures.
Ultimately, everything we've talked about really just boils down to a fundamental shift in how you think about it. A commercial roof is not a one-and-done expense that you can just install and forget about. No, it's a critical long-term asset and it demands ongoing strategic management to protect the huge investment underneath it.
So we'll leave you with this one thought. That massive, unseen shield over your head, is it an asset that's being carefully managed for the long haul? Or is it just a ticking clock, waiting for the next big storm to become a catastrophic failure? The choice, as you can see, makes all the difference in the world.